when you look at the hate train and you look at all of the different facets of it, all of the different people that were involved, all of the different things that they were saying, if you look at it on a surface level, it looks like a bunch of angry people who don't like Nicki Minaj, and that's true. But if you take another closer look and you look at where all of those individual people are positioned in the map and the network of the music industry and the rap industry, you can see that a lot of these people were pawns and allowed themselves to be used as pawns for a wider agenda, which was removing Nicki Minaj from the female rap market. Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. This is another one of my No Ghostwriter videos. Follow no_ghostwriter on Twitter and Instagram for 24/7 rap and hip hop talk. And be sure to like this video, leave a comment and subscribe if you like what I'm talking about today. So today I'm going to be talking about the Nicki Minaj Hate Train, the period between 2017 and 2019 when Nicki Minaj was subject to massive amounts of scrutiny in the press and media and online on social media from people that perpetuated various lazy narratives about her, from her being unsupportive of other female rappers, sabotage other female rappers' careers, and to her just generally being all sorts of things, from mentally ill to a drug addict and other horrible, false and slanderous statements that were made about her regularly throughout this 2-year period. This video is going to go into the origins of the hate train and ultimately, in my view, why the hate train was able to persist to the level that it had. So if you're interested in that topic, then stick around and keep watching this video. Before I get started, I have a huge thank you that I want to give to the Barbs. I started YouTube in 2014 and I've been doing it on and off for the past 6 years, and I've always wanted to really have an opportunity to talk about things that I care about on this platform. I started making videos about Nicki a few months ago. I did a few videos here and there, and then over the past few weeks the Barbs have blown up the videos that I've done on Nicki and have blown up my channel. As I speak, I currently have over 3,000 subscribers, and I had an aim to get 1,000 subscribers by the end of July. So this had completely smashed all of my plans and put me in a position that I didn't imagine that I would be in, at least for another year or two. So thank you so much for everyone who has subscribed, watched my videos, shared my content, commented, everything. The love and the support within this fan base is incredible. And no matter what, I want you guys to remember that it doesn't matter how many people hate on you, it doesn't matter how many people try and look at you funny or put you down for being a fan of Nicki Minaj. It is a powerful and amazing thing to be part of this community. It is my honor to make these videos and this content for you, and I am so excited to continue doing this and making content that allows us to bond over our common love of Nicki Minaj's music and our common passion of protecting and preserving her legacy, because she is the queen of rap, period. I also want to say something that I usually don't address people, but stop watching my videos if you don't like Nicki Minaj. One, I don't care about your comments because they get deleted and you get blocked from my channel straight up. And two, I don't mind if you don't like Nicki. That's not going to affect how I feel about her. You are very welcome to watch any other content on YouTube that bashes Nicki if you want, but here on this channel, we're not in the business of bashing black women. I am also a black woman. Don't hop into my comments being disrespectful or rude. I don't mind if you don't like the artist that I like, but what you're not gonna do is be disrespectful towards her or disrespectful towards me. And a lot of you need to also go and check my credentials. I know you may hear my accent and may think that that's the only reason that I'm intelligent, but have a look at my background. I'm not to be played with, so don't play with me. Okay, let's get into the video. So what was the Nicki Hate Train? Well, the Nicki Hate Train was a term that was coined by the Barbs, and it referred to the systematic disrespect that Nicki faced during 2017 to 2019. And Nicki actually addressed this on Queen Radio and said that during that 2-year period, the only people that she could rely on and trust for love and support were her fans, the Barbs.
Were there times during your time away where you felt the opposite of that, where you felt really alone and really away from people?
Of course, I would be lying if I said I didn't have those moments. I think those are the moments that made me not want to come back sooner. Because you don't want to come back if you're not wanted or welcomed somewhere, and you just never know. You never know. I think finally now the key players or some important people in our culture are sort of like, giving props and showing love. But I definitely went over a year without feeling any love at all from the culture, just from my fans. And that's what kept me going in that time.
So there are various elements of the Nicki Hate Train, so I'm gonna divide them into public and professional. Public refers to just the general public, everyday people on social media, in watching YouTube videos. And professional relates to all of the professional people within the music industry, whether that is radio station hosts, owners of streaming services and people who work within streaming services, people who work within digital media publications and print media publications, and so on. Basically, whoever just isn't a consumer of the music, but is somehow involved in the commentary, sales, distribution, and so on. I also believe that the public element of the hate train was very much informed by the professional element of the hate train, in that the public took cue from various professional members of the music industry to be disrespectful and hateful towards Nicki Minaj. I'm gonna hammer this point home because you won't understand the Nicki Hate Train until you understand Nicki's position in the music industry. In my view, the Nicki Hate Train wasn't anything to do with Nicki Minaj personally. I think it had everything to do with Nicki Minaj's ownership over the largest proportion of the female rap market. Like it or not, between 2009 and 2017, it was Nicki Minaj that you were listening to. Yes, there were other female rappers that were present and active during the time, but Nicki Minaj was and still is the highest selling female rapper. She had exposure and impact that was leagues ahead of any other female rapper that was also occupying the same space. Once you look at the music industry as a business, which it is, you can understand the fact that one woman having pretty much a total and complete dominance over an entire genre could make other labels or actors within that industry feel some kind of way. Why does Nicki Minaj get all the money? Why does Nicki Minaj get all the endorsements? Why does Nicki Minaj get all the awards? Why does Nicki Minaj appear on all of the charts? That, if you take it down to a business perspective, you can understand why labels are going to want their own Nicki Minaj. They are going to want to replicate and duplicate the success of Nicki Minaj. And this is definitely something that she highlighted.
I'm a businesswoman. And this is my business. I know y'all get a kick out of this shit. I know that this is like some fun. You guys have y'all own lives and y'all get to just laugh at us all day, watch us arguing online, looking the hot fucking dumbass mess, But this is my real life, right? So look, it is no secret that if there is a woman, a man, an alien, and anything, a burger, a laundromat that's doing well, people want to replicate, duplicate, recreate. That's common sense, right, y'all? So that's not a diss. I want us to learn the difference between shade, because people always saying the word shade and I want you to understand that this is not a diss. That's a fact that people have seen me being successful in the industry for a very long time, and they want a Nicki of their own. Is that not true? Okay, so I'm saying that there were factories to create Nicki 2 years ago, 4 years ago, 5 years ago. Why wouldn't they? If there is You don't think they wanted to create a new Lil Wayne? You don't think they wanted to create another Eminem? You understand? You know, Eminem is saying, the real Slim and Shady, please stand up and all of this stuff. So that's not a diss. That is, if there's a laundromat on the block and everybody goes there, someday somebody's gonna come in and say, wait a minute, if I make a shiny, real big laundromat with flat screens, I can take their customers. If Burger King sets up shop and there's only chicken spots in the neighborhood, one day McDonald's is gonna come in the neighborhood and say, there's a desire for burgers here. And I don't want Burger King getting all the burger money when I make burgers too.
You're making everybody hungry.
Right? So that's not shade. That is obvious that for years and years, they've wanted every label wants their own Nicki. A female that is profitable.
So let's start there. Let's start from the position that there were record labels and other members of the music industry that felt some kind of way that Nicki has had such a chokehold on the female rap market for so long. And it's always been the case that if something's profitable and successful, someone's gonna wanna copy it. And that's exactly what happened to Nicki, because female rappers since have come forward and said that they were offered a deal by a very prominent record label in exchange for them dissing Nicki Minaj on a track. And they were told that this would make their career blow up.
Because I want to touch on another rumour now. I feel like the rumour guy, the gossip guy at the moment. I heard, this is how most of my questions are starting today. I heard a rumour that, look how nervous you are.
I know, I'm scared.
That you turned down a lot of money to not do, I should say, a Nicki Minaj diss.
Oh, that
That
yeah.
someone in America, someone reputable, I heard.
That was that was the first time I mentioned anything about, because that was the first time I flew out to meet with a massive record label.
Which was?
Atlantic Records.
Okay.
Yeah, but they've all changed now, so the person that approached me is not
So
there.
the A&R suggested that, right, let's break you out in America with a huge Nicki Minaj diss.
Yeah, because he saw my Look At Me Now cover on World Star.
Okay.
And a hater, I don't know who it is, but they had my number and they were posting my real number thousands of times. I just kept seeing it when I was scrolling through the comments.
On World Star.
Yeah, and they must have got it from there, because it was just always at the top when I used to check how many views it had. It's always at the top, so they must have called, and every time around 3 o'clock in the morning, because I was always up these times, I'm seeing New York call me, and I'm picking it up. And I'm thinking that they're pranking me, so I'm putting the phone down each time. Eventually, after the 4th time they've called, I've answered, and they was like, please don't put the phone down. This is serious. This isn't a joke. And then I listened, I heard them out, and they was like, I'm gonna fly you out to New York next week. So they did. And then we had the meeting. It was just, I don't know, man. It was just weird. I got a weird vibe about the whole situation. The fact that you only want me to do a diss record. That's how you want to break me. You don't want to break me because of my talent. You don't want to break me because of how I sound and what my style's like. You just want me to take down another female rapper. And that was something I felt a bit, I will never do that, because that's something I've always been against.
When you look at the hate train and you look at all of the different facets of it, all of the different people that were involved, all of the different things that they were saying, if you look at it on a surface level, it looks like a bunch of angry people who don't like Nicki Minaj, and that's true. But if you take another closer look and you look at where all of those individual people are positioned in the map and the network of the music industry and the rap industry, you can see that a lot of these people were pawns and allowed themselves to be used as pawns for a wider agenda, which was removing Nicki Minaj from the female rap market.
And I think that's the problem. They want to be able to tear me down. Let's not act like, there hasn't been a calculated push by many people in the industry to end my career in the last year and a half. They've they've done so much, and every time when they see this little, when they see this little thing here, back up and kicking, they be like, yo, what the fuck is it gonna take to get rid of this bitch? You can't get rid of me, bitch. I'm not going nowhere. I'm not going no fucking where.
Professionally, there were so many people that were involved. I think for most people, they pin the start of the Nicki Hate Train with the diss that Remy Ma didn't write towards Nicki, Sheetha, and that came in early 2017. What was interesting about Sheetha is that it seemed to be that not only had Remy been waiting for this for a very long time, and again, I want to shout out 20 Days of June for giving an extremely detailed breakdown of how Sheetha happened, including all of the various songs that Remy had done before Sheetha that showed that she was waiting to go at Nicki, and she had this song on tuck. What was interesting when I was looking at people's responses to Sheetha and comments on old videos is that it seemed like people were somehow trying to clown Nicki and say that she hadn't defended her rap crown by rapping. I've got my own separate questions for that. First of all, people seem to want a circus. Nicki Minaj is not a clown. She doesn't perform for the approval of people on the internet. And also what was interesting is it seemed to be that people were very concerned with Nicki proving herself as a rapper, but for the past 7 years before Sheetha, she had been constantly disrespected for being too much of a pop star and not hip hop enough.
No, I mean no disrespect to Nicki Minaj.
Except full disrespect.
But it was nice having you in hip hop. I'm not saying Nicki's not a rapper or that she can't rap, because the opposite is true. By nature, she is an incredibly talented rapper. But I am a hip hop head, and to be frank, this song right here, Starship, is literally one of the most sellout songs in hip-hop history.
Now hold on, before I get to the real hip-hop shit of the day, because I see the real hip-hop heads sprinkled in here, I see them. I know there's some chicks here waiting to sing Starships later. I'm not talking to y'all right now. Fuck that bullshit. Bullshit. I'm here to talk about real hip-hop shit.
So that's just my quick views on it, but the point overall is that after Sheetha, many members of the public felt as if Nicki hadn't responded hard enough. And there's lots of various impacts and influences on this. For one, I'm not just gonna put this on the professionals within the music industry and say it was just radio, but I will say that it didn't help that a lot of people had access to platforms like social media to express their sort of disrespectful views towards Nicki, because monkey see and monkey do. So people were seeing Nicki disrespect and started amplifying it.
Yes, Donkey of the Day for Friday, March 3rd goes to Nicki Minaj. Look, cause I've been telling y'all all morning, what we not gonna do is let anything distract us from the fact that Nicki Minaj got bodied over the Ether instrumental, got hit with another one, and has yet to respond. That's not the way this rap thing works, okay? Nicki Minaj is running the risk of being the first rapper from Queens that I can remember, and if you correct me if I'm wrong, because you're from Queens, she's running the risk to be the first rapper from Queens that backs down from a rap battle? Rappers from Queens, win or lose, have been involved in some of the most epic rap battles in hip-hop history. Nicki Minaj, if you don't reply, you let MC Shan down, okay? You let Nas down. You let Prodigy from Mobb Deep down. You let 50 Cent down. You let LL Cool J down. You let Ja Rule down. Or maybe this is your way of saying, you know what, I don't want to rap anymore. I like this pop world. I'm going to do songs with Ariana Grande for the rest of my life and call it a day. I've said what I had to say, okay? This is for the culture. Am I wrong? Am I wrong?
I want you to pay very close attention to what DJ Charlemagne was saying about the culture. Now, a lot of the narrative around Nicki was framed in, oh, you know, the culture needs Nicki to rap, the culture needs Nicki to respond, the culture needs Nicki to prove that she's really hip hop. And that's very interesting, because something else that happened in 2017 was the campaign to get Cardi B to number 1 on the Billboard Hot 100. And you guessed it, DJ Charlamagne was very instrumental in using the Breakfast Club and his radio platform to campaign for get Cardi B to number 1 for the culture. The Cardi B for the Culture campaign was started by the Breakfast Club in September 15th, 2017. And what's really interesting about that is after Cardi B got her number 1, DJ Charlamagne was actually presented with a platinum plaque. One would wonder, why would you receive a platinum plaque as a DJ? You're not an artist. And could it be because of the massive amount of hype and radio support that was given in order to get this woman to number 1, quote unquote, for the culture? And I think it's a very interesting narrative that was framed. The fact that it was seen that Nicki isn't the culture and this other person was put forward as someone who supposedly is for the culture was a big part of the hate train. The narrative was framed that Nicki Minaj isn't real rap culture, not real black culture. And a lot of the disrespect that she faced, and she said herself, came from the lack of respect from within the culture. And it's fascinating to me that a black woman who's given so much of herself to black culture would be discarded and disrespected by the same people who uphold it. So notice that Charlamagne's language there is very pointed.
And we went hard for Nicki. I mentioned in my previous video about Queen and in my video about Drake and Nicki's relationship that during the Nicki hate train, the Barbs were going hard for Nicki, online and offline, in our personal lives and in our online lives. It was actually such a difficult time for many fans that they disconnected from social media and closed their accounts because it was getting such a toxic place to be. People's mental health was actually suffering. And I know other fan bases might think that's a joke, but we actually really love this lady and her music really impacts us. Throughout history, people have developed a very close relationship with talented artists, not only for the originality of their music, but for the authenticness of their personality and the genuineness of their spirit. So when you understand that first and foremost, Anika Tanya Maraj is a human being and her fans, well, we're a fan of Anika Tanya Maraj, the human being. All of the things about chart positions and money, it's secondary. Of course, we're gonna brag for our fave because she's the highest selling female rapper for the record. But that's not gonna change the fact that she's a human being and we really love her. So seeing her go through what she went through between 2017 and 2019 was really emotional for her fans. Now, there have been various videos that have covered the background and history of the hate train. I also want to give a big shout out to 20 Days of June. A lot of his videos have been massively informative for me to really understand some of the key players in the hate train, which I'll get through. And I want to give him a huge shout out first and foremost. I also want to give a huge shout out to @Onika's The Reason on Twitter. They've created a lot of very helpful and detailed threads that I'm going to be referring to throughout this video. And I would say that if you're looking for somebody who has produced really high quality detailed threads on all of Nicki's rivals, all of the interactions and different things that she's faced, then you should definitely check that out. And I'm going to put those links in the description. Everything that happened between 2017 and 2019 was framed in that context. The aim was to get rid of Nicki Minaj. In my view, I really don't think any of this stemmed from any personal animosity towards Nicki. And that's not to say that the people who were involved in the most disrespectful and disgusting elements of the hate train, from throwing shoes to disses full of lies, to interviews slandering her, to blog posts that also slandered her, and social media posts that were aimed on kicking a black woman when she was down, all for the sake of scoring a viral hit tweet. I'm not saying that those things weren't coming from a place of animosity, because I think it's got to take a very particular type of sad and jealous person to sit on social media and say horrible, horrific things about a woman that they've never met and about a black woman, period. No, in fact, I think this was all business. Getting Nicki Minaj out of the rap game was business. And something that Nicki has proven over and over again is not only is her pen heavy, but she's also got business acumen. And that means that her business prowess is so significant and so important to her success that she's never allowed anyone to get a one-up on her. Nicki's always stayed ahead of most of the things that have worked to act against her, and she's never allowed herself to be a victim. She's played chess and not checkers, and in my view, that's exactly why Nicki Minaj is still in the position she was in all the way back in 2009. So to summarize my views on the professional element of the hate train, I think that Nicki Minaj very much created the contemporary female rap brand that we know today. I think the female rap image that we understand in 2020 is Nicki Minaj's image, even down to the sound, the beats, the style, the presentation. Female rap very much follows the Nicki Minaj blueprint, or the pink print, as she said in her third studio album. Because of Nicki's dominant lion's share of the female rap market and her stamp and her ironclad vice grip on the market, it was important for those within the professional music industry, rap industry sphere to dislodge the influence that Nicki had. And that's why all of the narratives that affected the personal element of the hate train, which I'll get into now, started from that base point, in my view. It started from the base point of getting Nicki Minaj out. Now, I know I haven't gone into detail of all of the different things that happened blow by blow in the hate train. I feel like there are a lot of videos on YouTube, and the thread that I mentioned is very detailed. But what I wanted to talk about today is the logic behind the Nicki hate train. Why was there a hate train? It's important that we understand that the hate train wasn't anything that derived from anything other than business. This was business tactics, and it got dirty. It got dirty and it crossed the line. I don't think it's ever appropriate to treat a woman in the way that the music industry treated Nicki. Just because you want some of her market share, I think it's despicable, personally. So Nicki had always been a target, and I've always wondered whether Sheetha formed part of a wider strategy. In my view, I think it does. I think the aim of Sheetha was to put, as 20 Days of June said, a chink in Nicki Minaj's armor, to weaken her, to make her bleed, so people can see this woman who had been on top for 8 years somehow fall and crumble. Following Sheetha, there just followed a timeline of various stories and incidents that made you raise your eyebrows, because not only was everything so disrespectful, but it appeared that there was a narrative that was being propagated that Nicki Minaj was some horrible, bitter woman that didn't want any other female rapper to succeed and was preventing female rappers from making money. And the statement was called "Stopping Bags." So this narrative developed that Nicki was behind the scenes stopping the bags of female rappers and preventing other people from making money.
Or is trolling to say that you are subliminally dissing Nicki Minaj.
Okay.
What do you say?
First of all, Nicki Minaj never did anything to me. There's no reason for me to sub her. I think that's corny. I think when people feel like, oh, to get on or to get people to pay attention to them, they go at somebody that never did nothing to them. Somebody do it to me, I'm gonna want to smack your head off. Like, that's how I'm gonna feel. So I try not to do that.
And we don't want that to happen.
And we don't want that to happen. So that's number one. Girl never did nothing to me.
That was a response. You know, she started. And then, you know, I feel that it's weird because she's been doing this to a lot of females, from Little Kim to Mariah to Taylor to Hannah, like, and no one says anything.
What is it that she does?
Well, it wasn't necessarily, you know, the little subliminal stuff on records, because I didn't care. I don't care about records, and I'd spoken to her before, like, whatever you say, you're supposed to say you're the best and none of y'all better than me, whatever. It was the behind the scenes things that you people would never know about, as far as trying to keep me off of red carpets and trying to make sure awards don't go to me, or she's not going to be in attendance, or trying to get people to make bad reports about my album sales, or just anything that I'm doing to make me look less and make her look better. And I have a problem. When you're trying to stop my bag, when you're trying to stop me from taking care of my children, now I have a problem with that.
And this really, really picked up in the duration of 2017. It was developing slowly. And in my view, I would say it hit a crescendo with Motorsport. Now, Motorsport is a very, very iconic collaboration between the Migos, Nicki Minaj, and Cardi B. And what was interesting about the way Motorsport was handled is that by the time the collaboration had come out, the Hate Train was already sort of gaining its momentum. So interviewers at that time were looking for information that fit with their narrative on Nicki, that very much fit with the narrative that Nicki was some horrible woman that didn't like other female rappers.
People know it's so easy to now say Nicki Minaj stops my bags, she's stopping my bags. They know it's so easy to say that and for people to believe them. So I saw someone write a lot of, well, they didn't write it, their publicist wrote it. Wrote a lot of lies about me, and I never normally defend myself, but I can't do that anymore. I have to defend myself and let people know these lies are ridiculous. And if I were to tell you the real things about some of these people, you would be on the fucking floor.
Another reason I don't think that this is all strictly personal or has anything really to do with Nicki herself is because narratives towards black women, the angry black woman trope and the idea that black women are somehow bitter or crazy for having passionate feelings about the way that they're treated by people in society.
Now, I do have to give out my first cocksucker of the day award, and then I'm gonna get to Brooke and Ra. My first cocksucker of the day award goes to the cartoonist who drew a picture of Serena Williams. Yes. Now, I'm gonna tell you something. I have been talking about this for the last couple, I don't know, because every time a black woman says they don't agree with something going on in their own career, job, workplace, they get labeled as angry, they get labeled as troublemaker or having a meltdown. Or if y'all watch that tennis game and you telling me that this woman had a meltdown because she was saying, no, this is not fair how I'm being treated, black women are no longer allowed to say that they are being unfairly treated without being told that they're on drugs, that they're having a meltdown, that they're a sore loser, that they're angry, bitter, miserable. Give me a fucking break. And this needs to stop. We are not allowing this done to our own anymore. Like, it has to stop. She demonstrated grace. She demonstrated passion. There is a difference between passion and a fucking meltdown. Why the fuck is everyone allowed to be passionate but black women? Why? Give me a break. But women, when they see another woman defending themselves, defending their legacy, it's a problem. They hate their own. They're crabs in a bucket. We kill our own. It's just about giving respect. That's it.
I think that's so typical at this point that I don't even want to say that it's even unique or original or special, most of the things people were saying about Nicki. I think if you look at the recent example of Megan Thee Stallion and her experiences after her shooting incident, the fact that Megan had to go online and state that she's a human being and shouldn't be picked apart and made into a meme for people's entertainment was very powerful. And I also found it powerful that she said nobody protects black women. So this entire period, this hate train period, was tough. No radio play, no playlisting, no support from the industry. It was the Barbs and Nicki only. And that was nothing to us. It was light work. We went ham with Nicki's first 2 singles, Chun-Li and Barbie Ting, Billboard Hot 100 Top 10. Chun-Li was the highest charting solo female rap record of 2018. We broke records as a fan base. We constantly kept pushing everything that Nicki had to offer. I think the music industry wanted to see Nicki flop because Nicki's brand is success. She branded success. And so to see Nicki unsuccessful in the view of those who wish to end her would mean an end to her brand. The thing that's fascinating and amazing is that she has got her fans, the Barbs, and the Barbs aren't letting Nicki's brand go no damn where. And all of the success that she's had in 2020 shows me, in my view, that everything that she's gone through in these previous years has set her up in a position where she's winning more than she's ever done before. And that's incredible. Now, I want to close this video out with 2 points that I noticed Nicki has made, which I think are so important for understanding the hate train. The first point, it comes from her conversations with Jay-Z, and that's that what happened to her and what happens to her, period, isn't personal. It comes with the territory of being number one. And I love that Nicki has gone through a journey where now she doesn't take things personally in the same way. She charges it to the game and the fact that she is winning. That's why she receives what she receives.
They're already posting my quotes from Queen Radio. These blogs. It's like, can y'all just, do y'all have anything better to talk about? If I'm so much this and that and negative, why do y'all continue to talk about me?
You know why?
Why?
That's what happens when you're on top. It's a gift and a curse.
Well, that is what Jay-Z told me.
Yeah.
And since I am the female Jay,
Yeah.
I own it. Okay?
Exactly. Greatest rapper alive.
Jay-Z told me that I am held to a different standard than
You
everyone
are.
else because I have the top spot.
Exactly.
And he said it's not you personally. He said it's just anyone in that spot. And so I want to say, bring it on.
The second thing is that I think the fact that there was a Nicki hate train is proof that absolutely no one occupies the top spot other than her. I think it's unequivocal at this point that Nicki is the top female rapper, and in my view, I think the top rapper, because no one else has this impact. Nobody else has had this impact. So she knew what was going on and she found a way to brand it and she found a way to spin it in her favor because Nicki plays chess and not checkers. So to conclude on the hate train, this wasn't the first time the music industry had attempted to end a black woman's career, but it was the first time that social media was a massive factor. And use of social media is what allowed the toxicity towards Nicki to be mass syndicated amongst lots of people, and lots of people started perpetuating the lazy and dangerous and awful narratives about Nicki online. However, the other thing that is interesting about that is that Nicki made her start on social media. Social media was how Nicki connected with her fans right at the beginning. And I even remember creating a Twitter account when I was 12 years old just so I could follow Nicki Minaj. So she's had her own influence from the beginning, and the Barbs have stayed strong and have stayed supportive of Nicki to this day. So I just think it's incredible. The Nicki hate train happened because of business. They wanted Nicki out of the female rap industry. As I said in my Queen video, I do think the hate train has come to an end. I don't think the hate train is in any way in the same place that it was in 2017 to 19. But I will say that the elements of the hate train, the disrespect towards black women, the constant pitting of women against each other, I think that has still remained. And I think as consumers of female rap music, we have to remember the woman-centered element of that genre of music, and remember to be feminist in our support of these artists and in our digestion of media about this artist. We have to constantly remember that women, especially black women, are viewed and treated a certain way by society, and ask ourselves, what are we contributing to when we just blindly come on social media and say horrible and hateful things about a black woman? So guys, I hope you enjoyed this video on why the hate train happened. I think I've done my best to cover, in my view, why the hate train happened. I know that I could go into so much detail for so long of every step within the hate train, but I thought I'd do this video as a start. So thank you guys for watching. Please don't forget to follow no_ghostwriter on Twitter and Instagram for 24/7 rap and hip hop talk. And be sure to like this video, leave a comment and subscribe, and let me know your thoughts. Why do you think the Nicki hate train happened? Do you agree with me that it was all business, or do you think it came from a different place? Let me know. Drop a comment and let's keep the conversation going. Alright guys, peace out, and I'll see you in the next video.